Coming up on this edition of Ableton On Air, we talk about Jimmy Carter's life, and we also talk about Habitat for Humanity and his humanitarian efforts and what he started. All that and much more on this new show for Ableton On Air in 2025. Welcome to this edition of Ableton On Air, the one and only program that focuses on the needs, concerns, and achievements of the differently able and focuses on many people with many abilities despite their disabilities. I'm Lawrence Tyler. Arlene is not here today. On this new season of Ableton On Air, we focus on the first show for the year. We focus on Jimmy Carter and his presidency and what he did for this country, especially with Habitat for Humanity and his humanitarian efforts. So let's begin. James Earl Carter Jr., October 1st, 1924 to December 29th, 2024, was an American politician and humanitarian who served as the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. A member of the Democratic Party, Carter served as the 76th governor of Georgia from 1971 to 1975, and in the Georgia State Senate from 1963 to 1967. He was the longest living president in U.S. history and the first to reach the age of 100. Born and raised in Plains, Georgia, Carter graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1946 and joined the United States Navy submarine service. He married Rosalind Smith, and they closely worked together through their lives. Carter returned home after military service and revived his family's peanut growing business. Opposing racial segregation, Carter supported this growing civil rights movement and became an activist within the Democratic Party, serving as on the Georgia State Senate and as governor of Georgia. Carter ran for president in the 1976 presidential election. Initially a dark horse candidate, not well known outside Georgia, he secured the Democratic nomination and selected Walter Mondale as his running mate. They narrowly defeated the Republican Party ticket of President Gerald Ford and Senator Bob Dole. On his second day in office, Carter pardoned all Vietnam War draft evaders. He created the National Energy Policy Technology, and Carter successfully pursued the Camp David Accords and Panama Canal treaties. And in the second round of strategic arms limitation talks, he also confronted stagflation. He signed into law bills that established the United States Department of Energy and the U.S. Department of Education. The last 2 years of Carter's presidency was marked by the Iran hostage crisis and the energy crisis due to the Iranian Revolution, the 3 Mile Island accident, and he established diplomatic relations with China and the Nicaraguan Revolution and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. In response to the invasion, he escalated the war against the Soviets, enunciated the Carter Doctrine, and leading the multinational boycott in 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow. Carter and Mondale sought the election in 1980 presidential election and were nominated by the Democratic Party after Carter defeated Senator Ted Kennedy in the party's primaries, and they lost by a landslide on the Republican ticket between Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. After leaving the presidency, Carter established the Carter Center and promoted and expanded human rights, and received a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his work in relation to it. He traveled extensively to conduct peace negotiations, monitor elections, and further eradication of infectious diseases. Carter was a key figure in the nonprofit housing organization Habitat for Humanity. He also wrote numerous books ranging from political memoirs to poetry while continuing to comment on global affairs. Two of these books about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, polls of historians and political sciences, rank Carter below average as a president. Scholars and the public generally view his post-presidency, the longest in U.S. history, even more favorably. James Earl Carter was born on October 1st, 1924, in Plains, Georgia, at the Wise Sanitarium, where his mother worked as a registered nurse. Carter became the first American president born in a hospital. He was the eldest child of Betsy Lillian Gordy and James Earl Carter Sr., and the descendant of English immigrant Thomas Carter, who settled in the colony of Virginia in 1635. Georgia's numerous generations of Carters worked as cotton farmers. Plains was a boom town of 600 people, and the time of Carter's birth. His father was a successful local businessman who ran a general store and the aid of investor in farmland. Carter's father had previously served as a reserve second lieutenant in the Army as a quartermaster in the Quartermaster Corps in World War II. During Carter's infancy, he moved several times on a dirt road near Archery, which was almost populated by impoverished African American families. His family eventually had 3 more children, Gloria, Ruth, and Billy. Carter got along with his parents, even though his mother was often absent during his childhood. Since his long hours, and although his father was staunchly pro-segregation, he allowed Jimmy to befriend black farmhand children, and Carter was an enterprising teenager, and given his own acre of Earl's farmland, which he grew, packaged, and sold peanuts. Carter also retired out of the section. Carter also rented out of section of tenant housing which he had purchased. Carter attended Plains High School from 1937 to 1941. After graduating the 11th grade, he did not have, which did not have a 12th grade. By that time, archery, archery and planes had been impoverished and by the Great Depression. But the family benefited from the New Deal farming subsidies, and Carter's father took a position as a community leader. Carter was a diligent student with a fondness for reading. According to the popular anecdote, he was passed over as valedictorian, and he and his friends skipped school to venture downtown in a hot rod. Carter's truancy was mentioned in a local newspaper, although it was not clear about otherwise being valedictorian. As an adolescent, Carter played on the Plains High School basketball team and joined Future Farmers of America, which helped him develop a long interest in woodworking. Carter had long dreamed for attending the United States Naval Academy, and in 1941 he started undergraduate coursework in engineering at Georgia Southwestern College in nearby Americus, Georgia. The next year, Carter transferred to Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, where civil rights icon Blake Van Leer was president. While at Georgia Tech, Carter took part in the Reserve Officers Training Corps, and in 1943, he received an appointment to the Naval Academy from U.S. Representative Stephen Pace, and Carter graduated with a Bachelor of Science in 1946. He was a good student, which he was reserved and quiet. In contrast to the Academy's culture and aggressive hazing with freshmen, while at the Academy, Carter fell in love with Rosalind Smith, a friend of his sister, and the two wed shortly after graduation in 1946, and were married until her death on November 19, 2023. Carter was a sprint football player and a midshipman, which is a standout freshman in cross country as a cross country runner. He graduated 60th out of 821 midshipmen in the class of 1947 with a Bachelor of Science degree and commissioned as an ensign. From 1946 to 1953, the Carters lived in Virginia, Hawaii, Connecticut, New York, and California. During his deployments in the Atlantic and Pacific fleets, in 1948, he began officers training for submarine duty and served at the U.S. Pomfret. Carter was promoted to lieutenant junior grade in 1949, and his services abroad, Pomfret, included simulated war to the Western Pacific and Chinese coast from January to March of that year. In 1951, Carter was assigned to the diesel-electric USS K-1 SSK-1 and qualified for command and served in several positions, including executive officer. In 1962, Carter began an association with the Naval fledgling nuclear submarine program, and then led by Captain Hyman G. Rickover. Rickover was had high standards and demands for the machines, and Carter later said that next to his parents. Rickover was the greatest influence on his life. Carter was sent to the Naval Reactors Branch of the Atomic Energy Commission in Washington, D.C. for 3 months of temporary duty while Rosalind moved with their children to Schenectady, New York. Now let me go here and click on something. I'm gonna go to Habitat for Humanity. There we go. Okay. There we go. Here we go. Since we're talking about President Carter, let's go into Habitat for Humanity. And so Habitat for Humanity is an organization that believes in building and believes that everyone should have a healthy, affordable place to call home. When a family helps to improve a place they can call home, they can also build a better community and long life for themselves. So on this website, it talks about donations. You can skip that, and basically you can donate online. But Habitat for Humanity is an organization that deals with housing. But let me go here. Yeah. So, and if you want to donate to Habitat for Humanity, you can go to www.habitat.org. But also, if you're in Vermont, let me go Central Vermont. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity can be found. Let me go to the website. It's getting there. Give me a second. So yeah. For more information, if you want information on Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity, you can go to Central Vermont CentralVermontHabitat.org. That's www.centralvermonthabitat.org. Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity LLC is an affordable housing nonprofit organization that builds on rehabilitation housing and offers affordability to zero and low interest mortgages for income sensitive Vermonters. They also complete critical home repairs for income qualifying homeowners. They are located at Vermont State Capitol in Montpelier and serve the towns of Washington County, Orange counties. A local Greensboro collaboration also works in the towns of Craftsbury, Glover, Greensboro, and Hardwick, and Orleans County. Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity operates Central Vermont's only restored near the Mad River Valley in Waterbury, Vermont. Restores accept and now sell gently used donations such as furniture, home accessories, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail price, while diverting reusable items and building materials from areas such as landfills. Sales of donated items help Habitat for Humanity build and rehabilitate safer repair space and affordable homes in central Vermont. A good deal for a person when dealing with community and environment. And it is powered by local volunteers and brings people together. So for more information on Habitat for Humanity, you can go to www.centralvermonthabitat.org. That's centralvermonthabitat.org, and you can go to the website. And by the way, the executive director of Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity is Zachary Ralph Watson, and we've had him on the show before. And this has been a retrospect of former President Jimmy Carter. May he rest in peace. He did a lot for our country and for his humanitarian efforts, and he should be honored for that. So, for more information on what you've seen today on Able Then On Air, you can go to www.orcamedia.net. That's www.orcamedia.net, and the website, once again, for Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity is www.centralvermonthabitat.org or www.habitat.org for the regular page of Habitat for Humanity. I'm Lawrence Seiler. See you next time on the next edition of Able Then On Air.